been just under 5 years since Palantir Technologies entered the public markets through a direct listing in September of 2020, and in that time, the stock has delivered a performance that has far exceeded the expectations of many investors. When the company first went public, there was a lot of debate about whether it would be able to sustain growth and whether its government-focused business model would allow it to transition into commercial markets effectively. Over time, Palantir has proved doubters wrong and has rewarded patient investors in a big way. To understand the scale of this growth, imagine putting $100 into Palantir stock at the time of its listing and simply holding on through every period of volatility. Despite the ups and downs along the way, that $100 investment would now be worth $1,660. That is a return that can only be described as life-changing for many investors, and it also shows how powerful compounding growth can be when combined with a company that is riding a major technology trend. Because of these results, it is natural for people to wonder whether Palantir can keep up this momentum over the next 10 years and continue to be a strong wealth creator. When looking at Palantir's future, the first thing that stands out is the bold vision set out by Chief Executive Officer Alex Karp. In a recent interview, he explained that Palantir has a long-term goal of growing revenue by 10 times while also reducing its workforce by 12%. At first glance, this goal may seem too ambitious because most companies struggle to achieve both rapid revenue growth and efficiency improvements at the same time. However, when one looks at the historical growth Palantir has already achieved, the goal appears to be within reach. Back in 2020, Palantir reported annual revenue of $1,100 million. Now, when we look at the second quarter of 2025, the company generated more than $1 billion in just a single quarter. Based on its guidance for 2025, Palantir expects to deliver just over $4,100 million in annual revenue. This means revenue has grown nearly 4 times in just 5 years, which works out to a compound annual growth rate of about 30%. If the company can continue on this trajectory, reaching over $41 billion in annual revenue within the next decade does not sound unrealistic at all. The main reason this revenue target is achievable is because Palantir is operating in one of the fastest growing sectors of technology, which is the artificial intelligence software platforms market. This market is forecasted to be worth $153 billion by 2028, which is only 3 years away. International Data Corporation has noted that the artificial intelligence software platforms space is growing at a pace of around 41% each year. This high growth is being driven by the fact that artificial intelligence platforms allow companies and governments to build, test, and deploy artificial intelligence applications that solve real-world problems, from increasing productivity to cutting costs to automating processes. Palantir is already a recognized leader in this field and is ranked as the top vendor by multiple independent research firms. Because of this strong reputation, organizations across industries are increasingly turning to Palantir to integrate artificial intelligence into their business operations. This explains why Palantir's growth has accelerated recently. For example, in the second quarter of 2025, the company's revenue rose by an impressive 48% compared to the same quarter last year. That is an acceleration compared to its earlier growth rates, showing that demand for its platforms is strengthening. An even more important indicator of Palantir's momentum is the growth in its contract value. In the second quarter of 2025, Palantir signed contracts worth $2,270 million. That was an increase of 140% from the same quarter in the prior year. To put this in perspective, this amount was more than double the revenue Palantir generated in the quarter. This means that future growth is already being locked in through these contracts, giving investors more confidence that revenue will continue rising in the coming years. If Palantir aims to achieve $41 billion in annual revenue by 2035, which would be 10 times its expected 2025 revenue, then the company would need to maintain a compound annual growth rate of about 26%. This is actually lower than the 30% compound annual growth rate it delivered between 2020 and 2025. Since Palantir has been accelerating its growth due to the launch of its commercial artificial intelligence solutions, maintaining a 26% growth rate seems realistic if not conservative. Another critical factor that investors should not overlook is profitability. While revenue growth is essential, what truly builds long-term shareholder value is when a company can expand margins and increase earnings. Palantir has been making progress here as well. In the first half of 2025, its operating margin increased by 8 percentage points. This improvement came from 2 main drivers. First, Palantir expanded its customer base rapidly, which added new revenue streams. Second, existing customers increased their spending, which boosted efficiency and scale. This combination has allowed Palantir to generate stronger profits as it grows. Analysts expect Palantir's earnings to rise by 58% in 2025, reaching 65 cents per share. This growth in earnings is expected to outpace the growth in revenue, showing that the company's strong unit economics are driving better results for shareholders. In simpler terms, Palantir is not just growing its top line, but it is also becoming more profitable as it scales. Looking ahead, it is clear that Palantir is well positioned for continued growth. The demand for artificial intelligence solutions is only beginning, and the market opportunity is massive. With its leadership position, accelerating revenue, growing contract value, and improving profitability, Palantir has the right ingredients to continue rewarding investors. Those who already own the stock may want to continue holding, as the next decade could bring significant gains. In conclusion, Palantir Technologies has delivered massive returns since going public in September of 2020, turning $100 into $1,660 in under 5 years, and the company now looks set to keep growing over the next decade. Revenue has increased nearly 4 times since 2020, and management has set a bold target of boosting revenue 10 times from 2025 levels to reach more than $41 billion by 2035, a goal supported by the rapid expansion of the artificial intelligence software platforms market. Palantir is already ranked as the leading vendor in this space, and its revenue grew 48% year over year in the second quarter of 2025, while contract value surged 140% to $2,270 million, signaling even stronger growth ahead. At the same time, profitability is improving, with operating margins climbing by 8 percentage points in the first half of 2025, and analysts forecasting a 58% jump in earnings this year. Altogether, Palantir is positioned to keep rewarding investors with both revenue growth and rising earnings in the years to come. For more stock news updates, remember to press the like button and subscribe. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.